It's the time for the package from China. Let's go! Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the Magic Cube mini game box, the new edition. So I'm curious what are the changes out and what is it improved. Because I reviewed it a very long time ago, that was the first edition, and they claiming this is going to be the latest edition. So I just needed to pick it up and just check it out. What are we going to get now? They are saying that this device is more like a multimedia device nowadays, so we can play games, listen to your music and watch a video. So, but the question remains, like, what are the functionalities when it comes to online, or is it just like an offline product? Okay, so the brand itself is basically like video game machine, yeah, okay, or product name, and the model is the M12, or the brand is basically this logo. Like, maybe it's better the next time they just basically give you like a real name. The mini HD game box. And comes with one handle, USB line, one HD line, and construction instructions. Like, it's quite interesting to see like how they configure everything. All right, so let's open it up and let's take a close look at the inside. So here do have like the device itself. So far I can see there is nothing new over here. So what was quite interesting with the first model, we had like a built-in speaker at the bottom, the on and off switch. That's something quite rare, to be honest. Like, we don't have like these on and off switches every single time. A mini HDMI function, so it's quite interesting to use the mini version, the SD card, and of course the Type-C connection for the charge, volume control, and 2 USB ports. So nothing really fancy. They said I was only going to get one controller, but they did send me 2 of them. Okay, so let's see what kind of controls we're going to get. They also like sold back in the day with Xbox controllers, but nowadays we do get this one, and these are not bad at all. So I've reviewed them some time ago, and I can say like these controllers are absolutely, I love them. I'm just going to be honest, like these are like the next level of, let's say, fake ones. You can just feel the buttons are like way better quality. They have like a very nice travel. They're still very high when it comes to the positioning. They have like a very long travel, but what's quite interesting, I hope you can see it from this angle, like the way they position together, like they're all like strangely like positioned, something I've never seen before. The D-pad is not like your typical D-pad, it's the floating D-pad. We have seen it before, but I personally really like this because, not because it's a little bit higher than normal D-pads, but this display is just amazing. Home button, feel a little bit cheap, select start, and you're just going to get yourself like your typical like analog joysticks, shoulder buttons. Yeah, so I really like it. There's no turbo function. I know like there are a lot of controls out there that have turbo function built in. That's very convenient with the system if you want to play some Schmidt, for example. And not all the thing that we need to, what we don't need to forget. Let's take a close look at this. So there is no freaking 5-volt charger, so I'm guessing I'm gonna get myself like a phone charger. Take consideration. Someone like posted some time ago saying like, hey, take consideration there are like fast chargers, you need to be careful. That was a good point, he said. Comes with the right cable, so let's plug it in the television. Ooh, forgetting the most interesting part, of course, the toilet paper manual, deluxe edition. So you can see like it comes with a very nice manual, and it doesn't explain a lot, but it explains more than enough. But let's take a close look at the device. Okay, so how do we boot it up? So we need to hold the on and off switch for quite a long time, a couple of seconds. So when you're doing it right, it will show you a red and a blue LED, both powering on. And that's it. Within a couple of seconds we boot up straight in the main menu. And this is something we've seen before. They were not lying about the multimedia functionality. We do get game, movie, music, theme, settings, image, file, and history. We have seen this before with mini arcades. We've reviewed a very long time ago. So let's take a close look at languages. Oh yeah, the English. So you know, like a lot of typos, but we do have like a lot of different languages, even Deutsch and stuff like that. But there's no like my native language is not over here. So display, that's quite interesting to do a full screen and equal proportion. So there's basically the original aspect ratio. So let's put it on there. So let's see where with the open speaker we can turn it on and off. So there's the internal speaker that's inside us this thing. And here we have clear, restore, and system information. And this model is called the MX330 version 1.1. And I'm thinking this 2008, so I'm guessing this is not like the latest model. So let's see what we're going to get with the games. But the games do have like very nice pictures. We do have like arcade, Famicom, Game Boy, Game Gear, Game Boy Color. It's kind of weird, like they shown in Game Boy Color within Game Boy SP. Alright, Game Boy Advance, and this is absolutely messed up, like when it comes to the name. Like they spelled game wrong on PlayStation 1 and Super Famicom. So let's try a couple of games and you'll see how it runs. Alright, so they didn't mess it up with the aspect ratio. Okay, so let's try this game out. But so far I can see, like, it seems to be running just fine. So when you go pressing the select start at the same time, we do have the option to make an, let's say, a quick pass to the quick menu. And here we do have like quick to RetroArch, because basically what this thing is running on, a restart, input, and they have like an option to make a quick load, quick save. So I think that's pretty damn cool. Alright, next up, NES. All the sound effects are here. So also the NES part seems to be running just fine. Ah, crap. Okay, so next up, the reason why I'm listening to the soundtracks, you can hear sometimes they messed it up big time. No sound delay. You just see some weird glitching over there at the right part of the screen, but so far so good. Alright. Okay, so next up let's take a close look at Sega Game Gear, and of course take consideration we're going to stretch it out, but it will keep this original aspect ratio. I'm not going to put it even on widescreen to bother, because it looks absolutely hideous. Okay, so next up I wanted to try some Mega Drive. And the first impression that it seems to be running just flawlessly. Everything like the sound effects. You can hear everything seems to be working just fine. Let's move on to Neo Geo Arcade. And also this seems to be running just fine. What I personally really love about this controller, navigating with the D-pad works perfectly. Okay, so when it comes to Super Nintendo, they mess it up all the freaking time with this particular game. But what you can see over here, also this part seems to be working fine. And we're guessing because they were using RetroArch with the right emulators, they configured everything like it should be. In combination with the right controller, it plays amazingly. Alright, so for the final test, it's going to be PlayStation 1. There are a lot of these devices claiming to run it, but let's try it out. So most of the time they will run like some older emulators on the original resolution, but these things are not capable of like upscaling it. You can hear a minor hiccup. I think it's forgivable so far. So we can claim that this thing is absolutely like a tiny emulation beast, because this thing can play up to PlayStation 1 without any hassle. And for people watching my channel over here, like, I've reviewed so many of these game boxes and they are having so many issues, handhelds, game boxes, but it seems to be they finally managed to get it right with some of these devices. Okay guys, so I am excited. I'm excited about doing this teardown, and the reason is because when you're looking at the performance, everything is like great. Like we don't have like a lot of issues. We do have like minor hiccups with PlayStation we have seen before, but I think it's forgivable. So the general quality of this product is absolutely good. Like we have seen so many of these crappy products, and this thing is cool. Like it's tiny. It's absolutely like an emulation beast because it can play all of the games without any hassle. They even like came with good controllers, so no chemical controllers today that we need to sniff. Nope, it's absolutely great. And you can see like if some companies are waking up, they can manage to sell something that is absolutely like, I would say worth picking up. It's like, it's interesting. And depending on what you want to play, this thing has a lot to offer. So let's see, you can remove this. All right. Let's break the seal. So in the inside we do have like a speaker, and this thing is quite big. Like, and I can tell you, like, we didn't test it before. I tested out with the old model. The old model was absolutely like very loud. It's very cool if you don't have a monitor that doesn't have like internal speakers. We do have like an extra edition, and something we do have like with the Pandora's box, for example. Okay, so next up, let's remove the parkers over here. Need to be very careful with these very thin wires, especially when it comes to the speaker. Alright, let's remove these screws over here. And we'll remove this one, and let's remove this one too. And let's see if we can lift it out. I think what I need to do is I need to be careful with this too, because I need to remove the SD card now. Okay. What kind of SD card are you using? And the 128 gigabytes, so it comes with this Geo or something like that. It's a Chinese brand. I'm happy that they're just giving you the option nowadays to give like all kinds of versions when it comes to sizes, but unfortunately you don't have the option to choose what kind of brand. And I'm happy to choose like brands like these than the fake like SanDisk that get broken, but also make a backup. I think I need to get myself a plier tool, because we need to basically pull it out. Let's see if we can pull it out like that. Yep, we can. There's not a lot of room here and there to do that. Okay. So, a lot of air, not a lot of stuff going on in the casing. There is no cooling. A little bit strange because you can see like absolutely like there is some option over here for adding some additional cooling, like a fan, or putting at least some big plug on it. It's not getting really hot. We can remove the speaker, so that's a very good thing. But let's take a close look at the chip itself. Okay, so they are using the Rock chip, the Arcade 3128. So basically, I've seen this many times before, not only in handhelds, but also you can see this in, let's say, some other game systems. So, unfortunately, this is not like a new version, I already expected. It said like this brand new, blah blah blah, but this is like made in 2020, MX330, and it's even version 1.0, or the same 10, but it is version 1. Like old school specs, Rock chip, old school quad core with, I think it's around 1 GB of RAM, nothing really fancy. But nevertheless, this is what we're going to get in the inside. But when you're looking at this mini game box, for once I can be very positive about it. Yeah, so I've reviewed a lot of products and I'm most of the time like quite negative, simply because there is a lot of wrong with it. But this thing, to begin with the controllers, I love these controllers. I love the D-pad, it feels very comfortable. Don't get me wrong, this is not to be compared with a PlayStation controller or original Xbox, but it's pretty damn good for a knockoff controller. So that's a very good experience. When you're looking at the game box, it's absolutely cool. Like, it is everything that you're going to need if you want to get yourself some old school gaming. Up to PlayStation 1 seems to be running just fine. Of course, if you're having a super console, you have more options, but this thing, is for what it is pretty damn cool. But thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell. Hit the little bell. Very important, because you're going to get the message from, not the future, but from the master of YouTube. And I will see you in the next video then.